TGIF, everyone. Welcome back. It is Friday evening, and we've had a pretty tranquil weather day across the Mahoning Valley today. Sure, there were some flurries from time to time, as expected, but overall, just a cloudy, very January-like start to the month of March, with very little in the way of sunshine today, and we're not going to see much over the weekend as well. Showing you the Cleveland radar, valid as of about 4:20 this afternoon. Lots of light greens showing up here, indicative of snow showers and flurries being enhanced a little bit by the lake. And these have been most concentrated out west of Cleveland, towards Lorain and Medina this afternoon. A couple of these have snuck over into parts of Trumbull, Mahoning, and Columbiana counties, Mercer and Lawrence counties, and western PA also. I've had a few snowflakes today, but generally the snow has not been a big deal at all. Here's a look at the satellite picture, and boy, slate gray overcast. Definitely the rule. As the sun begins to set, the image begins to dim here, but lots and lots of clouds, New England, right down through the Ohio Valley, all the way out through the Midwest. It's just a really, really cloudy pattern here, and we may not see much in the way of appreciable sunshine until the end of next week. Better chance of seeing some breaks Monday and Tuesday, but I think we don't have a sunny day coming until maybe next Thursday and into next Friday. So a lot of cloud cover this evening. Here's a look at nationwide temperatures. Nice warm spot in Southern California this evening. It's around 75 outside of San Diego, upper 60s around LA. It's in the 70s in Phoenix. We've got 70s in South Texas and some 70s down in South Florida as well. But look how chilly it is, generally speaking, across most of the heartland, heading out into the Rockies and into the Northeast. Lots and lots of 20s and 30s. Chillier than it should be here during the first stages of the month of March. We've had a little bit of snow and even some light freezing drizzle in spots last night, and here's a look at storm reports over the last 24 hours. Pretty meager amounts, generally speaking. A half an inch reported here just northeast of Salem. That is the exception, not the rule. The rule has been generally just a trace, a dusting in some spots, 0.01 here in Newton Falls, 0.01 out towards Akron and Canton, and some isolated 0.3 of an inch to a half an inch amounts up in the snow belts, up in Geauga County, Lake County, Ashtabula County. But you get the idea here. It has been very, very meager amounts of snow over the last 24 hours, and that'll be the case through the weekend. Maybe there's a flurry, but that should about do it. Here's a look at the snow depth across the entire country. We've got a little bit of snow on the ground all the way down into the southern Appalachians, but generally across the Buckeye State, western PA, down into Kentucky, there's very little snow on the ground at the current time. We just had our storm out in the nation's midsection, of course, so they still have a pretty healthy snow cover in Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, and Iowa. And as you would expect here, still in the winter season, a real deep snowpack up near the U.S.-Canadian border, and the mountainous peaks out west also have a pretty healthy snowpack after a few rounds of storms over the last couple of weeks. Let's talk about the future now as we project out into time here and talk about the weekend and beyond. I want to show you two different computer models. These are both models that go out well into the long range. One, the top one here, is the American-produced GFS model. The bottom model is the European model. The track record on these models this winter has been, well, there's been more successes for the European model compared to the U.S. model. It's scored more victories. So as we head out into time, nothing but flurries for us here for the weekend. Let's start with Sunday evening, taking a look at the nation as a whole. We'll have low pressure Sunday evening emerging out of the northern Rockies here in Montana, out into the Dakotas as well. And what happens with this will have a large bearing on what our weather will be like for it next week. Let's take a look at the computer model's idea, the European computer model's idea, as we head into next week. The precipitation by Tuesday morning, here we go, Tuesday morning, is down into parts of the lower Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, with low pressure here across Tennessee. Some snows extending back into the Midwest with some rain and perhaps some thunderstorms down in the deep south. That's where the European model has it Tuesday morning. Here is the American GFS. So you notice there's actually a fair amount of agreement for Tuesday morning as to where it will be precipitating and where it will not be. Let's go to Tuesday night. Here's the middle of the night, Tuesday night. Now this shows low pressure down across coastal Carolinas, just off the coast of Wilmington, North Carolina, with snows extending back into parts of the Appalachians. And this does suggest here on the European model that some moderate amounts of snow may try to sneak back into southeastern Ohio, probably south and southeast of the Youngstown area. This is, again, Tuesday night. Here's the GFS model's idea. It doesn't have the moderate snow quite as far north and west, but kind of a similar idea, and that will kind of be on the fringes of this storm Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. The odds favor this being a decent snow event for central Pennsylvania, eastern parts of the Keystone State, maybe Washington and Baltimore finally get their winter snows. But odds favor us just being on the fringes of this. Here's the European model Wednesday morning. Here's the GFS model Wednesday morning. Whether it's snowing lightly or perhaps moderately, bottom line is we're just on the northern and western fringes, so the odds don't favor a big storm for us. It's not outside of the realm of possibility that we get a couple of inches, a few inches worth of snow out of this Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, but odds do not favor a big storm heading our way here in the Mahoning Valley next week. Let's wrap things up talking about temperatures in the longer range. The black straight line in the middle is the average temperature. This graph goes out through the 17th of March, so right through St. Patrick's Day. Long-range forecasts, of course, always take with a bit of a grain of salt. They are subject to change, but this computer model has been singing the same tune over the last couple of days. A warm-up at the end of next week, around the 8th, 9th, and 10th, heading into next weekend. We could have a few above-average days, and then generally a trend downwards closer to average for the middle of March. So overall, March is expected to be a pretty typical one, temperature-wise, here across northeast Ohio and western Pennsylvania. And we do see those ups and downs in this forecast. Chillier than average through the middle of next week, warm at the end of next week into next weekend, and then a return to seasonal averages for mid-month. I'll be on 21 News tonight at 6 and 11, and Jess will be on Monday morning. Matt Stone is in this weekend. We'll be keeping you up to date on temperatures and the chance for snow next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.